2, 1. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, how are you guys doing? Big thing is we hit 400 likes on our Facebook page. Thank you guys so much for all the support, the shares, the subscribes, anything, talking about it. It has been awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. This is a huge project that I just kind of started, a few months ago, and to have 400 likes already is huge for me. And I cannot thank everybody who's watching this video, who has shared, and again, who's done anything for this podcast. Thank you guys so much. We have a new podcast out right now. So Tia Lamb is the guest, and he talks about his band Push and Turn, who plays locally around here in Rochester quite often. And they're having an album come out later this year. So check that out. That podcast, that was awesome. Another big thing that is kind of coming up for me is I'm creating videos and making new stuff. And in doing so, I've been kind of editing out certain different videos. Some of my buddies play Fortnite and do some of that stuff. So I've been doing some of their editing and making some of their intros and stuff like that. I also made a video for the Jelly Roll concert that was here at the Skyway Theater last weekend, Sunday, June 1st or June 2nd, I want to say. But it was an amazing concert. Jelly Roll's awesome. If you don't know Jelly Roll, check him out and subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him on Facebook. Follow him on Instagram. I think he's Jelly Roll 615 on Instagram. Otherwise, he's just Jelly Roll on Facebook. And then again, he's Jelly Roll on YouTube, so subscribe to that. It was an awesome concert, and I put a highlight up on our YouTube page. So if you guys like Jelly Roll or anything like that, make sure you go ahead and check out that. It's an awesome video, and it's just kind of some of the editing I've been doing. So maybe you're looking for somebody to do some editing or some highlights of your fights, your concerts, maybe just recording you playing some music, some stuff like that. Just let me know, and maybe we can work something out and try to help you guys. So that's something that I'm definitely trying to get into and work on. But again, this Sotia podcast is awesome. Him and his band Push and Turn are really good. They're more of like a reggae rock kind of band, and that they do a lot of local shows, and they're trying to get bigger and kind of expand their horizons a little bit. And they have a really good song, Stand Up, and that's at one of the end of the videos for the podcast. Actually, it's at the end of the video of the podcast, so it's a little bit like a highlight. I actually made that video as well, so you can check that one out. And they recorded their own concert, but I just did the beginning and end and kind of just put that on there. But it was, it's a good video, and it's a really good song. Another thing that is huge is coming up this Saturday, which will be tomorrow. I'm gonna get this podcast out here in an hour or two. So I'm recording this early this morning. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a giant submission challenge here in Rochester, Minnesota. It's one of those things that does not happen a lot here in Rochester with the Jiu-Jitsu community. And so what it is the submission challenge, and it's a Jiu-Jitsu tournament. And so it's submission only, EBI rules, which if you're not really familiar with Jiu-Jitsu, it's kind of hard to explain, on the fly. But basically, there's no time limits, or there's no points, there's no refs decisions, there's none of that stuff. It's only submissions. And if you don't get a submission, then at the end you have to do a certain kind of thing in overtime. And I think for the adults and the brackets I'm going to be in is 10 minutes long. So that's kind of exciting. I'm in the absolute blue belt division. I think there's 10 guys in that. And so that's open weight. That's anybody from 135 or 125 pounds up to, I don't know what the biggest guy in our weight class is, but I think it goes up to, 300 or plus pounds. So I'm excited about that, kind of go out there and test myself. I do a lot of the absolute tournaments with the bigger guys, and again, those open weight tournaments. But it's nice to see that, for this one, cutting weight. So, sorry, I'm trying to get on some coffee before I have to go work out this morning. But it's nice for these tournaments that they have this specific tournament. They have an absolute for the blue belts, and it's just strictly blue belt. So if you're a blue belt from any weight, you can go to the tournament. Other tournaments, it's kind of open weight, open belts, and so anybody from white to black belt can join the tournament. And so it'd be nice to see where I stack up against blue belts at any weight. And I train with a lot of bigger guys at the gym, Imperial, and so I'm kind of excited to go out there and test myself and see how I do against guys from other gyms as well. From some of the local gyms here in Rochester. So it's really exciting. And I'm also in the 136 to 145 pound weight division for blue belts. Right now I only have one opponent, so it's just me and another guy, and we'll do best 2 out of 3 in both gi and no gi. So that's exciting. Don't really know much about any of the guys. I just kind of show up and play our game and try to stay on point as much as possible. So it's really exciting, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Again, it's something that does not happen a lot here in Rochester. I think this is the very first jiu-jitsu tournament we've ever had here. They had some MMA fights back in the day, but lately they've been trying to have some, and it didn't work. The micro wrestling show is awesome, but again, that's not martial arts. That's not kind of what we're representing. And so if you don't have anything going on this Saturday, please come to the Century High School. Saturday, it starts at 9 a.m. and it is the Submission Challenge. It's a jiu-jitsu tournament. There's going to be kids, from 3-4 years old, all the way up to adults, I think 50, 60 years old. Some of them are going to be, and I know there's definitely a lot of people in the 40 to 45 age range, and so jiu-jitsu is for everybody. And if you've never seen jiu-jitsu, you never heard about jiu-jitsu, you never, you've seen the UFC, but you don't really know any of that stuff, but you just kind of like those are two guys kind of rolling on the ground. Come to the tournament and check out jiu-jitsu and watch and see how awesome it is for people of all ages, size, groups. Just it's perfect for everybody. And it's a great self-defense, and it's great for building confidence, knowing how to defend yourself, and just realizing that you can push yourself through a lot more than what you think. Because a lot of people, when they come to jiu-jitsu, the first thing they realize is like, wow, I can do a lot more than my body or my mind told me I could. I can actually push a lot farther. So that's something I definitely learned in jiu-jitsu. So again, it's a great opportunity to check out jiu-jitsu if you've never seen that, and it's also a great opportunity just to support local martial arts, and specifically jiu-jitsu, which is something that I train, I teach, and I live by, the rules of jiu-jitsu and kind of how it goes, and in the gym, basically every day, as many days as I possibly can lately. Um, So again, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, it's at Century High School this Saturday, 9 a.m. here in Rochester, Minnesota. Come check us out. I'm going to be competing. Some of my great best friends, some of my great training partners, some of the amazing kids we have, the Amazing Kids program. We have, I want to say 15 to maybe 20 people in between, somewhere around there competing. So, from Imperial Training Center, that's going to be awesome. We're local right here in Rochester, so come check us out. And again, if you've never seen jiu-jitsu, you don't know what it's about. Maybe you've thought about getting your kids into something for the summer. You thought about maybe getting, your kids into something for better discipline, just for something for confidence building. Just come check us out and watch our tournament, watch our kids, watch how good we are and how close we are as a family. Because I think the best way to find out our philosophy and the kind of the community that we build at the gym would be at these tournaments, or come to the gym and check us out. You can hear say and all that, but watch it for yourself, because once you see us with the kids, you see how everything goes, and how close we are, and how many people we have, and how good our program is, not only technique wise and all of that, but also with bonding and building skills and confidence in our kids and our adults. I think people will really kind of catch on. And if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, come check us out and just go to the tournament this weekend. And it starts at 9 a.m. and all the kids will be starting right away. Some of the adults will be starting right away around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Kids will be starting at 9. So if you want to show up a little early, kind of get your spectator tickets. I think it's $15 for spectator tickets. Everybody who's already registered, you have to pre-register, so everybody's already registered who's going to compete. So you can't register at the door, unfortunately, but you can come check it out and watch us, and watch the local community of jiu-jitsu, and how beautiful an art this is, and how amazing it is for everybody around jiu-jitsu. And it's something that's definitely changed my life, not only jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts as well, but jiu-jitsu was the one thing I fell in love with when I did jiu-jitsu, or when I did start doing MMA. And I've kind of said that story before. I thought I was going to be a boxer and stand up a fight, but jiu-jitsu was really something I realized that, like, being the little guy on the mat and being the smaller person, or being not the strongest, and not the most athletic, that jiu-jitsu is where it's at, and that I can use these techniques properly, the right way, and control a lot of people way bigger than me, way smaller than me, and really kind of turn the tide against people, as to where when you're standing up, it's a little more of a 50-50. When you really get a hold of somebody, take them down, and they don't really know how to grapple, and you do know, even if it's a little bit, you're going to be in control, and you're going to be able to control a person. And I definitely think that it's something that's very valuable. If you're a police officer, you're an EMT, you're a firefighter, you're just a teacher, a person that just like does anything in the community, you're somebody who's afraid of, confrontation at a bar, anything like that. I think jiu-jitsu is something that will definitely help you, and build your confidence, and just being a person overall, outside of jiu-jitsu and inside of jiu-jitsu, just everywhere in life. I think it helps you. And this is a great opportunity, if you've ever been interested in that, to come check it out and see what it is and see what it's about. And you're going to see people, like I said, from all age ranges, size, builds, just everything. And it's great, and it's super important for us as a jiu-jitsu community to kind of put the word out, because it's, again, this doesn't happen very often. We want these submission tournaments to come back and to keep supporting the community of jiu-jitsu and keep being able to have these tournaments, because a lot of the tournaments we go to are hour and a half, 2 hours away. Some are in Wisconsin, some are in Chicago, which are even crazy farther. And so it's one of those things that it'd be, very valuable to us and the community as well to bring more jiu-jitsu to our community and kind of bring the light to all of that. So if you guys are not busy Saturday, please come on, check us out. Again, we're Imperial Training Center. You can check us out on Facebook. We have a website as well. Google Imperial Training Center, Rochester, Minnesota, and we will come up. You can get a hold of Ting the guy, and he is a great person to work with and then give you the understandings of what it is about um, to join the gym and to be in the community and kind of just get your feet wet a little bit. And he's really awesome at doing that, bringing people in. And so get a hold of him and talk to him, and he'll bring you in, and then you'll see us, some of the guys that I teach and train as well. So not only am I at the gym teaching, but most days I'm actually there training as well and kind of helping other people out on the mat. So um, I love being able to kind of have that double aspect of being able to teach and train and be see both aspects of it. So I can help people when they're kind of just training, and then days I can teach, I can show different stuff. So I'm very, very blessed and lucky to do this. So please come out and support us and just let us keep doing what we're doing and bring eyes to not only our gym but the sport of jiu-jitsu itself and self-defense, and just the viability of what all of this is to us, and why we speak so highly of it, why we praise it. And this is one of the best opportunities to come out and see it. It's by coming out and checking out a jiu-jitsu tournament. Some days they're long days, it might be from 9 to 3 or 9 to 4, maybe even longer, but just come check it out, watch some of the matches. Again, the early mornings are amazing. That is where I believe the magic of jiu-jitsu happens, is the early morning in the tournaments where the little kids are going. We have kids that are, again, 3, 4, 5 years old, all the way up to teenagers, 16, 17, 18 years old. Um, and they're all just amazing. And just to see the skills in these kids and the things that they can do is amazing. So if you want to be blown away by jiu-jitsu, definitely come check it out Saturday. And it's a great opportunity again to support local martial arts and jiu-jitsu. So please, hopefully I'll see a lot of familiar faces, and if not, just make sure you try to check the next one out, because hopefully we get a big turnout and they bring more back, because that's what we really want, is more jiu-jitsu in our community. And whether it's from our gym, the supporting gyms around us, any of the other gyms in the community that we have here in Rochester, we just want more jiu-jitsu for everybody. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is yes, we're businesses and all that, but at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is a community, and it's a family, and we just want more jiu-jitsu for everybody. And that's kind of what we kind of strive to as a gym, is we're a family, and we want to bring jiu-jitsu to the community. We want people to be able to be confident in themselves, and also lose a little weight, get back in shape, whatever it is. It's amazing for a lot of things. So definitely come check out jiu-jitsu, and if you can't make it to the tournament, definitely come check out Imperial Training Center. Again, you can Google us. You can check out our Facebook page, and then you can get a hold of Ting and anybody, Dan, myself, anybody, and Jay Paulson. There's a million of us that are, associated with the gym that can help you and lead you in the right direction. So definitely, hopefully, we see some more of you guys out soon. Let's see what else we got coming up. I just got a little poster board up here, just trying to make sure I get everything for us. So yeah, with the kind of, we'll just kind of jump into what's happening with the podcast now, and this is going to be a little bit of a short video, but it's just kind of about just kind of, again, thanking everybody for 400 likes, which is amazing. To turn a little more publicity for Sotia and his band, Push and Turn, which he's a great guy. Always has been the best to me, and he's a class act. Came down, did the podcast, then he had a show that night actually at the castle. So he's a busy guy, along with his story about what's going on with his family and their store. So it's a really great podcast. So definitely check that out. Again, check out the Jelly Roll video if you're familiar with Jelly Roll or you're a fan of Jelly Roll. You're definitely gonna enjoy this video, and it's just highlights of the concert and just kind of some of the stuff that happened. And I think it turned out really well, so I'm pretty happy with it. And so if you're a fan of Jelly Roll, or you want to be a fan of Jelly Roll, or you're interested in any of that, go ahead and check out our YouTube page. It's the Wow Look at Me Now Facebook page, and then also the Wow Look at Me Now YouTube page has the actual whole highlights. So that'll have I think it's a good 5 or 6 minute long video, but that's a lot of the highlights of him talking and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It was a great concert, and again, thank you, Jelly Roll. He actually gave me a like back on Instagram, so it's awesome to get a little support from him as well, and know that he actually saw what I did and he enjoyed it. So, um, get back to the podcast. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be selling some T-shirts and hats, and they're going to be coming out pretty soon. We have Team Crazy shirts, the old school Team Crazy shirts. They're orange. They have the blue writing. It says Crazy in the back. And those are just kind of sponsor shirts for the last time that I really did a big push for my fighting and all that stuff. And so those are kind of unique. And so there's only 20 of them left, and the last of them are going to be made. I think we might redo the design and some other stuff and kind of make them a little different. But this is going to be the last of those actual 20 shirts from that time I fought in Austin, Minnesota. We went out and sold a bunch of shows. We helped the Dan Kaiser fundraiser at that time, which Dan is back. And I'd love to get him on and talk about his story as well. He's a great guy, and he's always been cool as well. And so I was glad that we can kind of raise a little bit of money for him that night and help him get back on his feet. And now that he's back and doing good. And so yeah, we're gonna probably reach out to him pretty soon and get him back on. I know he's competing in jiu-jitsu a little bit now here and there with some of his in training partners and stuff. He's doing some more jiu-jitsu, so that's cool to see. And so again, those T-shirts are gonna be out again. And if you didn't get one of those back in the day, you can get one now. Again, we're gonna probably come out with some more different types of shirts, but right now we have shirts that are coming out for strictly this podcast. That are the Wow Look at Me Now T-shirts. They're going to be black with yellow writing. It's going to say Wow Look at Me Now podcast. So yeah, that's very exciting, as well as hats, and the hats are going to have Wow Look at Me Now as well. We're still in the middle of figuring out if we can get the right print to match the shirts on the hats, just kind of with embroidering, because one's screen print, one's embroidering. So I'm kind of still trying to figure out how all that's going to work. But I think it's going to be about $25 for the shirts, $12 for the hats, which it's a big support, and everything that we do get off of the T-shirts and everything, any sponsors, any of that stuff, always goes right back to the podcast. It goes back to get all this equipment. As you can tell, we got a little bit faster of a camera now. We got some lights. We got some good stuff. We got some new mics. And so we're just slowly trying to build, and make this thing better for everybody. And it's just been a great opportunity. Again, I cannot thank everybody for watching these videos. And if you're watching this video right now, thank you. Honestly, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because this means a lot to me to be able to sit here and do this and tell everybody about jiu-jitsu and tell everybody about my story and about, get to know people about their stories and about their lives and the ups and downs and tragedies of life, and how it's, nobody's alone. We've all gone through them. We all have bad times. We all have ups. We all have downs. But we can just push through that, and together we can help each other. And that's kind of what this podcast is to me, is, figuring out how I can help motivate people to get back on their feet. If you've been down, you know anybody who is down, hopefully we can motivate you to get back on your feet. Whether it's doing goals, trying exercising, therapy, whatever it is, coming to the gym, training, anything that works for you. That's what this really podcast is about. And then I hope that, again, with this video or any of these videos, that when we do talk about, again, we always talk about suicide awareness, we talk about cystic fibrosis, we talk about depression, we talk about addiction. It's just some of the things that have affected me in my life, and there's a million other causes out there. I know epilepsy is something that's really kind of jumped in my life the last few years, again, with some of the kids that I train and their family and stuff like that. And we have a girl that has epilepsy, and so it's something that's kind of jumped in my life as well. And that's another, and it is as weird as I always say silent killers, but that is another silent killer. Addiction, depression, some addictions, yes, you can see, but most of the time you don't really understand how bad it is or what it is. And the depression, cystic fibrosis is something that if you didn't know somebody had cystic fibrosis, you wouldn't, you couldn't tell. You just see if they cough or stuff like that. And again, if you don't know what cystic fibrosis is, please check that out. If you're suicidal, please call somebody, talk to somebody, tell somebody. And nobody's ever going to make you feel bad for being suicidal, for feeling down. And if they do, get those people out of your life and talk to somebody who's really, really, really important to you, because they're going to help you. If you really matter to them, they're going to tell you the right things, and they're going to point you in the right direction to help you. Addiction, again, if you have addiction, if you think you're struggling in addiction or falling into addiction, anything like that, ask somebody for help, talk to somebody, tell a doctor, tell a friend, tell anybody, because it's a really slippery slope that you can go down fast, and unfortunately, you might think you have it under control, but one day it's over. And then, unfortunately, that's what happened with me in my life and my father. And I think it's something that you can definitely, if you want help, you can get out of. And unfortunately, some people don't want help. So if you know somebody who's struggling with addiction, help them, because they might want help, but they don't really know they need it. Again, epilepsy, again, that's something that's coming up, and epilepsy awareness. We do have a walk coming up for our student Kaya, and that'll be coming up, and I'll be making a little bit more of a post later. That's going to be August 1st, but again, that's kind of farther down the road, so that's something that we're going to be doing, and I have the bracelet on here somewhere. I just got the shower, so I don't put it on after training, and I forgot last night, so I kind of forget. I'm bad at putting bracelets and stuff on, so but I do have them, and again, they are selling them as well. So if you are watching this, you see this part, and you want to support the walk, you want to support epilepsy, any of that stuff, again, you can contact me, Jay Polson. Justin Cobalt, again, he's the owner and operator of Precision Detailing. He's our sponsor. Contact him, and they'll give you all the information to be able to support or donate any money to epilepsy or anything like that. And if you're feeling like you want to donate money to some kind of a good cause or something that really means a lot, cystic fibrosis is something that again means a lot to me, and it's something that as an adult I struggle with, knowing that I have three nieces or two nieces and a nephew that are struggling with cystic fibrosis, and they're great and they're healthy and all that again, but there's so much more that could be happening with just donations and stuff like that to cure and preventing people from suffering short-term lives with cystic fibrosis, because now the age expectancy is kind of just going every year more and more and more, and so it's amazing to hear, and it's something that it really touches home. So if you really want to donate, again, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is somewhere that you can donate to, and it's a really great cause. It's something again that touches my heart, and it's really close to home. So those are some of the great things that we talk about in this podcast a lot, and that I just want to bring awareness to. So if there's anybody who needs help or wants help, you can always reach out to myself, the podcast. You can always email us. All that stuff is at the end. There's my personal Facebook, Ryan Stock, and my personal Instagram, Ryan Stock BJJ. I don't have a Twitter right now. I might have one, but I just haven't used it in so long. Otherwise, my email, ryanstock53@yahoo.com. Just get a hold of me, send me a message, and I'll hopefully point you in the right direction or give you some advice on some of the things that I think could help you. Again, I'm not a therapist or any of that stuff, but I always just want to be able to help as much as possible with anybody, because I've had so much help in my life that I was kind of selfish when I was a young kid. Then I kind of got so much help, and I didn't really realize how much help I was getting until I got older. Now that I'm an adult, I'm kind of really seeing the significance of all the help that I got. I want to be able to give back, and hopefully, I can do that. And without, I don't really, the attention isn't really something I want. It's just a way to get out and get that name out there, and get that word out there about this. And so, if I can talk to one person or help one person, then this podcast did its job. And if you can help one person, or you can talk to one person, or you can save one person, or any of that stuff, then do it, and just be a good person, and find out what's bothering people, what's happening, why people don't seem like they're the same person they were a few weeks ago or yesterday or anything. Just ask them if they're okay, and just make sure that the people closest to you are good, and and hopefully it kind of pays it forward. You make sure 3 people are okay. Hopefully those 3 people make sure 3 people are okay. And just kind of it kind of I don't want to say escalates, but it kind of just evolves from there. And it's a really good movie. If you've never seen Pay It Forward, it's just kind of one of the movies that I always liked as a kid. So it's a really good movie, and it kind of just says that same thing. That you help 3 people, and hopefully each one of those people help 3 different people, and it kind of goes that way, and it just builds into a big pyramid of helping people. So hopefully it's not a scheme, but it's just a helpful little reminder of things. Again, so t-shirts and hats will be coming out, and I think that's going to be coming out next week for the t-shirts. Hats might be a week or 2 after that. It's just kind of, again, we're kind of figuring out that font, trying to figure out what everything works. But all that stuff is ordered, and it's kind of coming. We're just trying to figure out the final processes on those hats. The shirts are already made, or already ordered, being made right now. They should be out early next week. So hopefully right after, the tournament, stuff like that, when I can do my post podcast for that and tell everybody how I did, and kind of show, if I won or lost, if my butt kicked all day or I kicked some butt all day, how it went. Then we can kind of show the t-shirts and stuff like that. So again, thank everybody for, getting us to 400 likes on Facebook. That is huge. That is something I didn't think, 3 months ago was going to be possible to get this fast. I thought this was going to take so long to even get to 100 likes, 200 likes, but now we're at 4, and we're there, and we're going to reach for 450. That's our goal now. So please, if you're watching this, you're a fan of me, you're a fan of any of the stuff we talk about. We talk about a lot of fights, we talk about life, ups and downs. We're going to have comics on, we have musicians, we have podcasters, other martial artists. We have all kinds of people from all walks of life on this podcast, and it's just getting bigger and better. So please just share this out a little bit, and just a little bit of I guess a teaser is, We're in talks right now with getting Tony Martin from the UFC, who's going to be fighting here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on the UFC fight or the UFC card. I'm not sure if it's a fight night card yet or not, but I'm going to be looking that up here because we've just been kind of in talks the last week about actually getting him on. It's been something that we wanted to do for a while. We are in talks about doing it. The week of the fight. Hopefully, we'll either get Monday or Tuesday of the fight week. Then we'll get it out the next day of that. We'll post it out. And again, that'd be awesome. We get Tony Martin. And if everything goes well, we can figure it out. We'll also get Mike Brown, who is the best featherweight to come out of the WEC. He was great in the UFC. I mean, he's an amazing guy and even a better coach. You know, he's a great fighter, a better coach. And I hear a lot of great things about him. I haven't heard about him, you know, a lot in the couple of years, except for great teaching, great coaching, great gym out in ATT in Florida. That's what Tony Martin is. Been training for this last fight. And so it's amazing if we can get him on and just kind of get to know Tony. And it's not going to be one of those fights where we're just kind of talking about stats or one of those podcasts where we're talking about stats and all that stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about his fight, but we're going to get to know Tony and just kind of where he came from, where he grew up, how it was going, how martial arts kind of affected his life or how he learned, martial arts, what his first martial arts was, how he got into fighting, all that stuff, the ups and downs of fighting. And we'll kind of skim through a little bit of that. Then we'll kind of get to really what this fight means to him and being at the pinnacle of his career. And, hopefully we'll get some fun stories from him and Brock and Mike Brown. And, we'll kind of hopefully have a great podcast. Hopefully that all goes through, and again, we're in talks with that. So that's something that I'm really, really looking forward to. And I can't wait. I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. I'm a little, a little over my element, I think, a little bit, because, these are guys that are really, they did what I always hoped I could have done in fighting, and unfortunately, some of the things that happened in fighting, I just couldn't make it to the big level, and then, it's just kind of the way it happens for some people, and I've kind of got over that, but again, it's amazing to be able to meet people, especially Tony, someone who came from, I'm pretty sure he was born in Minnesota, raised in Minnesota, and somebody who's just kind of local to where we are, that made it, and around the same time that I was fighting, he was fighting, and he was kind of making us come up. And so it's awesome to, see somebody like that be able to succeed and do so much and become so good. Because he's fighting Danny Maia, which is a huge step up in his career. It's like the pinnacle of his career, and it's going to be the biggest fight of his life. And when he wins, it's going to be amazing. It's going to skyrocket his career, his potential, everything about him is going to skyrocket after he wins this fight. And, I hope that we get lucky enough to kind of talk to him a little bit about it and get to know him before that fight, and more on a personal level than more just a fighter and kind of being like, well, you did this fight and that fight. It's not really, I don't really want to do that. I want to get to know him and figure out who he is as a person, ups, downs, how martial arts has changed his life, because I can only imagine being in the UFC now, coming from where, starting as, I'm sure, just a young kid that just had a dream of being in the UFC, to now getting to the UFC and being at pinnacle and being on the main card, of a pretty big UFC, something especially at home where he got most of his fights, or, it's something that's amazing, and I just can't wait to hopefully be able to interview him. Again, we were trying to get Maurice Green, again, heavyweight in the UFC, just came off the heavyweight Ultimate Fighter. I think he's 2-0 in the UFC right now. It's going to be 3-0 in the UFC. He is a guy that is super, super busy right now. He's out in Colorado. He's doing a training camp out there. I know every Wednesday is like his rest day that he takes off, but this past Wednesday, he had his family out. So, we're hopefully going to maybe try to get him on too for a little short podcast, maybe half hour or so. Just kind of talk to him a little bit of his ups and downs, where he came from, kind of get, a little bit about his training camps going, and then, this fight coming up and how much it means to him as well. So hopefully we can get him as well. And the best thing about these two guys is we're in Jiu-Jitsu, there's a lot of affiliations. Our affiliation at Imperial Training Center is Start BJJ, which is Start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Tony Martin, Maurice Green, Brock Larson, they're all affiliates of this gym, and it's amazing to be able to be affiliated with these guys, especially someone like Brock and Tony, and Brock is somebody who, for me, when I first started fighting with somebody, we looked up to, like, oh my God, I wish we could fight like Brock, because he was a stud in the WEC from Minnesota, small town in Minnesota, and he was out there just kicking butt. And so he's somebody that when I first started fighting, I remember looking up to, and so it's amazing for me to be able to be affiliated with him and it became such a small world. And kind of goals of being like, oh my God, I'd love to meet Brock Larson, to now I get to train with Brock. I get to be his Yuki, so he gets to beat up on me when he comes to our gym and teaches class. So it's amazing that opportunities that jiu-jitsu has gave me, and that this podcast is going to give me as well. And so again, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for you guys. The 400 likes, all the subscribes on Facebook, all the people talking about it. Every time I go to somewhere, people are asking about the podcast, and I love that. I love being able to talk about this and getting the word out, because not only is this helping me great opportunities and meet great people, but it's also helping me bring out the awareness of, again, cystic fibrosis, addiction awareness, suicide awareness, some of the great causes, epilepsy, some of the amazing things that we were talking about, that I was talking about earlier, that is on this podcast. And I couldn't do any of this without you guys. So I cannot thank each and every one of you guys enough. The people that are talking to me, bringing it up, asking me questions about it, please keep talking. If you guys have any guests, anybody you guys want to see, anybody locally, nationwide, maybe we'll try. But somebody you want to see me interview, get on the podcast, somebody I know we have some suggestions. We have some Logan Clark. We have some other people that we were going to try to get on. That Logan, we were been in talks with again, but he's busy farmer guy and kicking butt doing that. So once we get him on, I want to try to get Andy Fisher, who's a local comedian here, who's actually helped me immensely when I was doing stand-up. We used to train back in the day when I was really young, around 15, 16, 17 years old. We were training together. And, now he's a stand-up comedian. Now he's kind of touring around. And, he doesn't do comedy here in Rochester very often. And he used to when I was doing comedy, which I did for about, I don't want to say a year, 8 months, something between there, off and on. He was somebody that really, really helped me and gave me a lot of guidance, and was just a great guy. And so it's good to see that he's out touring and he's moving around, and he's not playing in Rochester. He's playing in bigger cities around, the state, and hopefully, he's traveling as well. And so it'd be nice to catch up with Fisher and kind of check him out. I know he has a comedy show coming up here at Goonies in Rochester, so check that out. He's going to be the opening act for somebody else. I just seen it a few days ago. I just can't remember the name. But again, Andy Fisher, he's a great guy, awesome comedian. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. Again, he's coming up soon. I'll have more dates and stuff on that one, probably in the next podcast, because he's somebody I really want to come get on. Another one is Zach Ashton, just a bunch of people that are comics, that are local people that are from our community right here in Rochester, and just kind of show all the local talent that we have in people from, Rochester, and just some of the local guys that I know that have been awesome and helped me a lot. And, hopefully I can give a little bit of help and a little bit of likes to them, and a little bit of notoriety to them as well. So, again, I cannot thank you guys enough. 400 likes is amazing. That is huge to me, and I just thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. So, this is one of those things that it's been amazing, and it's been a great ride so far. It's had its ups, its downs. There's times where I feel like I'm not doing enough, and there's other times where I feel like I'm doing too much and I'm obsessing, and just it's one of those things that I'm really, really enjoying the ride. So I can't thank you guys enough. And everybody's helped me, everybody supports me, my family, Johanna, my girlfriend, Jay Paulson, guys at the gym, everybody's helped, Dax, Dan, Travis. I mean, there's so many people. Damien we had on, we had Austin Healich. I mean, there's so many great people that we had on this podcast that I just can't thank each and every one of you guys enough. If you're a guest on my podcast, or you've liked, commented, shared, said anything about the podcast, thank you guys. Ups and downs, whatever it is, I'm just really glad to be part of this ride. And, I can't thank you guys enough for letting me do this and sharing this out for me. And it's just been amazing so far. So thank you guys, and I can't wait for the next one. I think it might be Tony Martin, so hopefully that's what we're looking for, and we'll see you guys next time. So thank you guys for all the likes, supports, and shares. All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.